Hey everybody, there are a ton of ways that you can follow us online. We've got our website, realnerdspodcast.com, that you can go to and you can read articles and find the podcast episodes there as well. If you like social media, you can follow us on Facebook at Real Nerds Podcast or on Twitter and Instagram at Real Nerds. You can also call us anytime and leave a voicemail at 720-6nerds5, and then we'll play your voicemail on the show. Thanks for listening. I hope you like us.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Men. Listen, I have my own podcast. I have my own podcast studio. I don't really care about those. What I really care about is the Real Nerds Podcast, the best podcast in the universe, in the multiverse, on all Earths, 616 and beyond. Listen to it. Subscribe right now, and listen to this episode. Listen to all the episodes, but especially listen to the one that I'm on. It might be the best. Thank you, guys.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, where for 10 years we've gone to see a new movie and podcast as our experience to the world. This week we saw West Side Story. This week with me is just Zach.
Just Zach, the most disappointing lone nerd imaginable. What? How is it that what we are doing this week has only you and I, Brad? This makes no sense.
Well, I went and poisoned Ryan's son's lunch at school. So he's at home cleaning up vomit and can't talk with us.
Gotcha. So that is an admission on the air, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty close to eclipsing his all-time appearance records, so I feel no shame in admitting that because I'm a sociopath now.
Wait, now?
Touche.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I didn't realize that that this was just a new phenomenon in your life, but okay.
Yeah, it came out that way because I made it up on the spot. That didn't happen. Yeah, Ryan's is Kellen's sick, so he's at home, and we're stuck here.
Yeah, gotcha.
We're doing a movie.
James has no excuse though, because this is his boy that we're talking about today.
You know what? James's family is more important than Spielberg. So,
what? Wait, hold on. Does that mean that I'm the ultimate Spielberg fan now?
How dare you? I'm here.
No, excuse me, sir. No.
He
Do you like 1941?
I've seen it once, and
I've seen it more than once.
Well, congratulations.
Have
you seen Duel?
Yes, I have.
Have you seen Night Gallery?
Ooh, touche. I haven't watched all of Night Gallery, and I certainly haven't seen his episodes. Eat a dick! Oh, God.
How many times have you watched Munich? Do you even own Munich?
God, no, I don't, and I've only seen it once.
See, I knew it. Ryan and I even did a commentary for Munich. And it was just us sitting there watching it for 2 hours.
That is actually really fucking cool. How far back was this?
Pre-Real Nerds. But it's bad because we're just like, we start out and then the movie's so amazing that we just get sucked into it and don't say anything for like a long time.
That's a good commentary because you're just acknowledging the movie's greatness by saying nothing.
Yeah.
It's a trick.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's but yeah, so I guess we should lead into what we're talking about.
Yeah, so like I said, we this week our movie is West Side Story. Stay tuned to the end of the episode where we will review it generally, and then after the trailer we will go into spoiler territory, although it's a remake of a play and an existing movie, so
and it's also a retelling of Romeo and Juliet but in New York City. So
yeah, it's like 3 times remade. And also I never watched the play or the original movie, so I didn't know. You know, I guess it could have been spoiled for me, but I don't feel like if I had been told anything, like you said, it's no secret it's a Romeo and Juliet adaptation. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
A secret one, huh?
is it?
I think it's pretty aware that it's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I don't hear people talk about it much. So when I was watching, I was like, man, this is just yeah. But anyway, until then, we're going to maybe talk about news, what Blu-ray and 4K releases are coming out, and then what we've been watching. So,
Yeah.
Zach, why don't you? Did you find some news for us?
It's real news.
I did. Actually, it's movie related and such as that Anne Rice has died at the age of 80. She was the author of the beloved Vampire Chronicles book series, which were then adapted into into films. Most famously, Interview with a Vampire, starring Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and Kirsten Dunst. But also Queen of the Damned, which was Aaliyah's final film before her death. But she had quite a fan base. And I must confess I've never been drawn to read her, but she created the basis for 2 films that have gone on to entertain a lot of people. So it's sad to see her go, but she lived a hell of a life. Practically set the tone for a lot of vampire lore going forward since the 90s. So
yeah, I'd say she has probably a little bit of a responsibility for ushering in the YA movement with goth, vampires and things. So
yeah, and in some sense, you could say that she's kind of responsible for laying the groundwork that would allow Twilight to exist. And I'm aware that people like those books, and I love that they love them, but regardless of where your opinion lies on all of that stuff, it's pretty cool that she was able to kind of create something like that out of whole cloth starting in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That's no easy feat to create something create a vampire lore that's just as impactful as Dracula itself. That's not an easy thing to do, my friend.
No,
but yeah. Yeah, no, sorry. I was looking for you to acknowledge that is correct.
Sure, yeah.
I failed. Typical me. Anyway, that's news.
Wow, cool. All right. Well, what's coming out on Blu-ray and 4K?
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Well, Venom: Let There Be Carnage is coming to you in 4K.
Oh, you
Blu-ray.
fail again.
How did? You know what? I enjoyed Venom.
Let There Be Carnage.
You know what? Andy Serkis's Venom: Let There Be Carnage was fun. I enjoyed it just fine.
You know what's tough for me is that the Steelbook looks really cool, and I already own the other one. So as a completist, I feel like I have to get it, but I know I'm never going to watch it.
How about this? Can I give you something else to get?
Sure.
Can I give you something else? The Red Shoes in 4K from Criterion Collection. Powell and Pressburger's dancing nightmare movie filled with Technicolor wonder. Available now in Criterion 4K.
I'll probably just wait for the 50% off sale then.
Smart choice. Yeah, just hold on to the money you were going to spend on Venom: Let There Be Carnage and get a classic film from 1948 that has inspired such films as Black Swan, for example. So, yeah, cool. Among new releases also is The Last Duel in 4K, the film that nobody saw in theaters, which is a shame because it apparently looks really good. So.
I saw it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You and Corinne did see it. That's right. And I messed up by not seeing it, which means I am on Ridley Scott's hit list. But yeah, no, you guys can check that out on 4K now. I will pick it up.
You're such a filthy Gen Zer.
Yeah, I'm a stupid millennial. Fuck me running, right? Hey, you know what? I have a defense for myself. You can't say that stuff when you yourself created 2 lucrative sci-fi franchises. I don't want to hear it.
Who wants to go see 3 consecutive rape scenes done differently each time? Ugh.
Well, I think you're going for acting and for a discussion point on the current movement as told through allegory. So, which in itself is a very noble effort and something that doesn't fully exist anymore in the current theatrical market. That doesn't mean Ridley Scott has to be an asshole. Anyway, should I move on? Can I move on to something a little bit more fun?
Please.
Mitchell and the Machines is coming to you on Blu-ray. The Netflix animated film from the creators of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Have you seen this yet?
Yet again, I do not have Netflix anymore, although I will once Cobra Kai comes back.
Gotcha. When you go to pick up Cobra Kai again, you can check out Mitchell and the Machines. And Arrow's got some stuff coming out. They're putting out The Snake Girl and The Silver-Haired Witch from 1968, and they're also reissuing Dune in 4K. That reminds me, I still haven't seen Dune in theaters yet. Damn it. I guess I'm going to HBO Max for that one. MVD is putting out. I know. It's finding 2.5 hours. It's finding 2.5 hours. MVD is putting out Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2. The horror double bill of schlocky home video goodness can be yours via MVD's Rewind collection. Or if you're lucky enough, you can probably pick up Jack Frost from Vinegar Syndrome, which did a wonderful wonderful job on that Blu-ray. You can get My Stepmother is an Alien from 1988, coming to you from Arrow Video. Coming to you also on the 4K front is The Wolf of Wall Street, aka Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street, aka not a Marvel movie. So if you want to check that out, you are more than welcome to. I like that movie. People watch it wrong. Ivanhoe from 1952, the Warner Archive Classics collection is putting this one out for you. So if you want to check this out, please do. And The Card Counter from 2021, the latest Paul Schrader movie featuring Oscar Isaac, can now be yours on Blu-ray. You can also get season 1 of the Abbott and Costello show from Classic Flicks. And this looks very interesting. I have never seen them packaged in such a way where they're going by season. So that's really neat. Abbott and Costello show is a lot of fun. I prefer the radio show, but that's okay. It's all fun. And we are also getting Going Berserk from 1983 coming to you from Shout Selects. You can also pick up The Four Seasons with Alan Alda and Carol Burnett in a Kino Lorber packaging. And looks like that's about it, buddy.
Cool. That sounds like enough.
Yeah, I think that's a sturdy selection of things. You know, you can pick up some Venom stuff, or you can pick up Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Or The Red Shoes.
If you have a lot of money, you can try for all those. But if you're like the rest of us, probably one of those things in there is for you. Why don't you tell us what you've been watching this week?
Really quickly, I will say actively out loud that Wolf of Wall Street steelbook looks fucking cool. I like that artwork. Anyway, what we've been watching?
Yep.
Alrighty.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Okay, right on. So, what have I been watching? Not a lot. Not a lot. Been a lot of cool stuff happening in my life that has taken precedent over films. However, I did rewatch The Bishop's Wife at Film Club. And the movie still rocks. Cary Grant. It's a secret X-Men movie, guys. He's an angel who's sent down to help a bishop get over his obsession with his job and not spending time with his wife. But he has angel powers that look suspiciously like X-Men powers. He can control ornaments, which means he could feasibly control glass, which means he's an X-Man. And he can also skate, unlike any other human being on the planet. And you could say that's an angel power, but I say X-Men. So anyway, yeah, Bishop's Wife. It's a holiday classic. Check it out if you'd like. And then for Ballyhoo recently, I did Whatever Happened to Baby Jane from 1962. And I fucking love that movie. I have not watched it since high school, but god damn it, that thing still had me by the throat. For anybody who doesn't know it, it's about Betty. It's with Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. They play sisters. Betty Davis plays Baby Jane, who was a vaudeville child star who was like very known and had her own line of dolls. And then as she got older, her sister Blanche, played by Joan Crawford, became more successful in movies. It leads to jealousy, and it leads to her. What we are told is that Baby Jane runs over her sister and cripples her by severing her spine. And the movie becomes about Blanche trying to sell their house and Baby Jane catching on to it and basically torturing her sister throughout the process of also trying to revive her career. It's a very campy, but frankly, watching it around this time, I would say it's campy, but it's a very sincere horror movie all at once. So yes, things are very grandiose and very like super eccentric and balls to the wall. This could easily be seen as a form of camp humor, but I think that it works in both camps. And Betty Davis is fantastic in it. It's a movie that I'd love to know what you think of, Brad. Like, because it's unapologetically brutal, especially for 1962. And then I also started picking back up Fruit Baskets. So I watched the second episode today. If you'll recall from the last discussion that I had, I wish Corinne was here to talk about it. So hopefully she comes back next week so we can talk more about it. But the episode that we left out on was our lead character is discovering that the house that she's living in now is filled with people who can turn into the Chinese zodiac. And so this second episode picks up with her dealing with the revelation that she's been that's been foisted upon her, and she has basically to the Yuki, the lead guy that she has a crush on, and is fascinated with, can turn into a rat or a mouse, and he carries with him this embarrassment of turning into a mouse. And our lead character, sorry, I'm still trying to process all the characters' names and get them memorized, but Toru's basically like, I don't care what you look like. I just hope that we could still be friends even after you erase my memory so that I know nothing of your secret. And so the entire household decides to keep it a secret, decides to let her keep the secret so long as she just promises not to tell anybody and she can still live in their house. So it's kind of a nice episode of, you know, like learning more about the characters that are just outside of Toru's purview and learning about what makes them tick. We also have the revelation of Yiro being a cat. And and again, I'm sorry if I'm getting the names wrong, but he's kind of temperamental. He's an outsider in the Zodiac, and but you get this character sense that he's got a little bit more depth to him, and that we're going to find it out in later episodes. And it reaches a boiling point when he's forced to go to school along with Yuki and Toru. And I'm curious to see where this goes. This is a show that is getting me more emotionally involved than plot-driven involved. And so I kind of want to know where everything goes with these characters and what their arcs are, rather than worrying about a grand overarching plot. From what I can gather, there's no big overarching plot that I'm supposed to be like on the lookout for. So instead, I'm kind of getting a character piece, which is really nice. So if anybody hasn't seen Fruits Basket, it's available on Hulu. I'd check it out. If you can get through the ads and everything, I think you're in for a fun time with Anime Land. So that's all I've been watching this week. Sorry, it's kind of a brief description, but I kind of wish that Corinne were here with me to talk about it, because I have like a ton of questions for her on this. So
yeah, there's something I wanted Ryan around for a couple weeks ago. He was missed, so I get it.
Yeah, we're in a weird limbo here. Brad, what did you watch?
This is always frustrating because it always seems like I watch the most stuff during a film explosion week. So yeah, I did I talk about House of Gucci last time I did this segment?
No, you didn't, but I've seen it, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'd rather watch a documentary about the House of Gucci. Because it's a competent movie, but it's hard to like enjoy a story where a bunch of wealthy people screw up their lives. You know,
that's a very good point. That's a very good point, because like there was this disconnect for me going like, I could care less about these rich people fucking each other over, and yet I did appreciate this kind of like weird campy gangster movie out of Ridley Scott. So it's like I'm kind of torn between the two.
Yeah, as soon as Adam Driver like you see him turn, like you're like, oh, there's no one to root for in this movie.
Oh no, they're all terrible. They're all
Yeah.
terrible. They're all
So-
spoiled brats in some way or another.
But the fascinating thing I found was that so I did some research afterwards, and it's been a couple weeks. I forget her name, but the character Lady Gaga plays, Mrs. Gucci. She has since been released from prison, so she's just out and about now. And the whole movie, they don't mention that they had two daughters.
Patrizia, sorry.
Yeah, and yeah, the whole movie they don't mention they actually had two daughters the whole time.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing that's probably because the other daughter didn't give her rights to the movie.
More than likely, yeah.
So, but still, it was just odd to be like, oh wow, what's his name, Morazano,
The wait, which one? What,
Adam
sorry?
Driver's character,
Oh, Maurizio,
Maurizio,
yeah.
yeah.
Don't you dare go down Ryan's path. I don't want to hear it out of you.
Anyway, yeah, so that was just like an interesting couple things that they didn't touch on in the movie. So yeah, it was fine. It was pretty competent. It was actually not, I don't know, like it was surprised, like most movies from the 80s, it didn't seem as stylish as what I expected,
Mm-hmm. There are things that I like about the film. I really like Al Pacino in it as Aldo Gucci.
Yeah, again, another great character. And really is one scene where it kind of pulls the power card and you're like, oh, you're all
And
terrible.
you know what I do love? That he only has one outburst moment. I love that the people who are using him for the outburst only once, and they're giving him room to breathe the rest of the time.
Yeah, the
Because he
part where
did
he
that-
breaks down and cries is pretty, like, his best part in that movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He hands over his company.
Yep. And I like the like I don't know if he's like a consigliere for them necessarily, but like he's like a consultant for the family on their business affairs, but it's played by Jack Houston. And I really like watching him just be like an absolute like pain in Lady Gaga's side in that movie. He's kind of like, I'm sorry, this is just the way it is. Like,
Yeah, it's cool to see him play that family and totally exploit them.
oh yeah, absolutely. He's the secret. You see, if there's a good guy, technically it's him.
I don't know if he's a good guy. I'm not sure. He's like doing good with that company.
chaotic neutral. How about that?
Yeah.
And I do find that I'm usually not one for Jared Leto, but I do think he's fine in this movie. I think he's just fine in this movie.
Yeah, I know his performance isn't accurate to perhaps that person. But it's definitely it makes the movie more interesting for sure, because like you look like visually like movies like Alien and Blade Runner, and then there's this movie that seems kind of like visually a pretty standard biopic looking movie.
Yeah. And but yeah, I mean I think it's a fine movie, but I agree. I frankly would rather watch a documentary that could also catch up with where they've been since. Because that would be interesting to me too.
Yeah. The other thing I watched was a movie called Shiva Baby, which is about a Jewish girl who has turned to prostitution to help get herself through college or whatever her plans are for the future. And actually, there's a running theme between everything I watched this week that it's hard to like the movies because none of the characters are you can get behind. So this girl, the last guy she sees on her way to a funeral, she ends up running into him at the funeral because he's actually connected to her family. And so the whole movie is just her at this funeral avoiding her family and talking about her college plans, and then trying to get around this guy who's also apparently married. And so his wife's at the funeral, and her ex-girlfriend's at the funeral, and she just keeps walking in and out of these situations and just making it worse for herself. So it's a small movie, but it was it's got a lot of side characters and it's all performed pretty well, but at the end of the day, you're just like, she's kind of an asshole. Like, it's probably good that she invited all this bad stuff on herself, and it's full of like awkward moments, and it was cool to like get an insight into Jewish culture that I don't usually get to. So, yeah.
Oh, right on. Sounds pretty neat.
Then I also watched a movie called Silent Night, which has an incredibly misleading trailer, but it has Keira Knightley in it and a bunch of other British people, and Jojo from Jojo Rabbit's in there because I think his mom directed it, and it's got apparently his twin brothers in it. So there's this family that is celebrating Christmas, and they all go out to this mansion. Again, wealthy people. They go out to a mansion to celebrate Christmas, and there's the threat of like there's this cloud that's roaming the English countryside that it's going to kill everyone. So you think the movie starts out as this like, oh, they're going to go have a nice holiday together, and everyone's kind of dreading it a little bit for some reason. Then you find out there's this ecological disaster that's being thrust upon them, and then you find out that everyone's out there because they know they're going to die, and the government has given them all suicide pills, and so they're going to enjoy Christmas together and then take the suicide pill. Except the kid from Jojo is skeptical that this is even true. And the trailer makes it seem like a fun, like almost was it like I forget the name of it right now, Ready or Not, like like a horror comedy, when it's really like just a horror drama.
Really?
With all this large family and their friends like struggling with accepting that they're going to die or believing they are, because and then there's their son who's like skeptical about it, and he starts asking all these questions, and there's even a doctor at the party, and then suddenly like by the end of the movie you're just like, was this an anti-vax movie? Just because at one point towards the end it kind of seems like like the killer cloud is fake, because a bunch of people touch it and they don't die, and then there's like a scene where the kid does get sick because he encountered it, but then he like opens his eyes at the end of the movie. You're just like, oh, come on, man. But his supposed death like confirms for everyone else that they should take the pill. It's just it's a lot of like dialogue scenes, and it's what was it? Have you seen It's a Disaster?
No, I've heard of it though.
Yeah, I think Henry watched it too. But it just like the whole time I was like, this is that movie just done on like a larger scale, because It's a Disaster is like, I think maybe like 3 couples at a Sunday brunch, contained in a house, like pretty small, and then there's just like the illusion of like a dirty bomb went off downtown, and the radiation's coming, and so like occasionally people outside on the sidewalk will be shown like passed out, because they died from but everyone inside, like it's slowly seeping in through the windows, and it's just like it's kind of the same premise here. But like the cloud and everything is like more big budget, like you can actually see like toxic funnels running through blacked out London downtown, and and it's in this mansion instead of just like a house in the suburbs. And all the characters are just like not great. Like there's this one girl who brings her girlfriend to the party, and everyone ignores her, and even her own girlfriend's like mean to her, and the Keira Knightley's family, like her kids are really shitty, like the twins, like when they're about to die, they're gonna take the pill with a glass of Coke, and like they keep making the dad go back downstairs because at one point it's not cold enough. They can't share it, they have to each have their own, and it's just like they're really spoiled. And there's one girl who's pregnant, and they're all making her feel bad that she's like socially conscious. Yeah.
Huh. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then like there's a interconnected thing where some of the friends have slept with each other and they didn't tell each other,
Hmm.
that thing.
Gotcha.
So it's like that's pretty conventional. But
Huh.
yeah, at the end it's like, man, was this like a don't trust the government thing? Like, that's too bad. I feel like it's weird that some of these actors sign on for that. But
Well, it could be within the guise of a black comedy pointing out the ridiculousness of it.
yeah, it's hard to tell. But anyway, that was that. Probably talked too much on that one. I bought the the Karate Kid 4K box set, and
Ooh.
I just want to note that the box says on the back that Karate Kid 3 doesn't have any special features. It's just the movie, but it does have the trailer on it. So,
Okay, so he lied.
little fib there. So you do get at least one bonus thing. But yeah, it's pretty bare bones. It would have been nice to have I think there's a commentary track actually, but can't remember because I watched 3 and 2. But yeah, it's a nice set for someone who's like most of the 2000s. They didn't really include 3 with anything.
Okay.
And then last thing I watched was Being the Ricardos, which was good. It's got a lot of snappy dialogue, obviously.
Thanks for inviting me, by the way.
I figured you would have figured out by now that a lot of times I just go to the movies when I look up from what I'm working at. And I'm like, oh, I have 5 minutes to get to a screening, and I'm not going to like wait around for everyone to like, some people have tons of podcasts they're recording and never have time, and have started relationships with new people that I'm not going to, do a texting back and forth to see if I'm just going to go.
Point taken. Continue.
Yeah. So actually, like I just went because I was down by the Sharties, and I was like, do I want to go see West Side Story again, or do I want to go to the Sharties? And I was like, I want to go to the Sharties, so I'm just going to see Being the Ricardos.
And but yeah, how is it?
Yeah, like it's fine. It's got snappy dialogue, and the movie is like 1 week in an episode of the I Love Lucy show. There's just a bunch of shit happening between her dealing with an accusation of being a communist and the quality of the show.
Gotcha.
So all the people, Lucy and Ricky and the staff, are all just kind of dealing with all these different problems all at the same time.
Does I'm going to take a stab in the dark because I've actually been willfully ignorant of this plot up until this point. Do they do the speech at the end where because the accusations of being a communist?
I think I'm ahead of you. Yes.
What? Yeah, because it leads to Desi coming out and saying the only thing that's red about Lucy is her hair.
He didn't actually mention that in the speech. I don't think that didn't come up.
Then that means Aaron Sorkin rewrote history.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I found it hard to believe that this is how this played out.
Well, I'm sure, well, clearly, yeah, but no,
Yeah.
but no,
it's one of those things where like all the characters are super intelligent and competent,
I mean, I kind of figured that there's going to be discussion about where their marriage is going at that certain point, but also if it's about the communist thing in particular, that's interesting because I actually didn't peg that to be the plot of the movie. I figured it might actually be about their relationship's full decline.
Well, it's all those things. Like I said, they're dealing with many different things, and like some of them is Lucy's dealing. Well, the whole show is dealing with like if the public doesn't accept that this is just an attack on her, then the show will probably be canceled within a week.
Right.
And then meanwhile, Lucy's suspicious of Ricky the whole time. In his going out and playing cards on the boat. And then she's also trying to make the episode that she's currently working on better. So she's fighting with Jess Oppenheimer and her co-stars, Fred and Ethel, the woman who played Ethel, Vivian Vance, she's struggling with being the less attractive co-star.
Mhm.
And then I forget who the actor's name for Fred is, but
Bill Frawley. Yeah.
Bill Frawley, J.K. Simmons is playing him, and it's cool because he starts out being like kind of a pain in the ass at the table read, but at the end of the movie, he's like this important support structure for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
that's a theory that I didn't realize until I kind of read into it a month ago, of like Bill Frawley being like a good support beam for everything.
Yeah,
because it's basically like facilitating a lot of the shenanigans that she and Ethel get into.
But yeah, I can almost guarantee that you'll enjoy this movie. So,
I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with my parents. I loved I Love Lucy when I was a kid, like, because that was a Nick at Night show that was still on Nick at Night when I first discovered it, and I did a report on Lucy in 4th grade. I read up on her. The older I get, the more disparaged I get when I read about some of the things that she did out of nastiness, because she was reportedly, I guess it depends on how you view it, because she was a very powerful, determined woman in her industry, and she's extremely, like, accolades all around for her on that. But there are times when I have read that Lucy was not the nicest of human beings and suffered from her own issues in a way that she didn't necessarily behave accordingly despite that behavior. It's hard to explain. Like, there are people who are fans of Lucy, and then there are people who dislike Lucy intently. And I'm kind of in the middle, because it's hard to ignore how powerful her impact was on me, and also how powerful her impact was on the entire industry.
Yeah.
She's the reason we have Star Trek.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't like I Love
show.
Lucy, yeah, exactly. Like, even if I didn't like I Love Lucy, I would love Lucille Ball just for the Star Trek thing alone.
They also bring up that Desi apparently created their type of 3 camera system that revolutionized how that system performed for audiences, I guess. But anyway,
he was able to capture all the chaos very well, and that's something he had a foresight on.
Yeah, but she definitely gets a real shiny veneer. Like, she doesn't. The movie just pretty much portrays her as a girl boss. She doesn't seem to have any negative aspects in the movie, other than just being pushy, I guess.
Right. Which again, this is Lucy before she was in a different state in her life. And and again, half the stories that I hear of Lucy being mean, I take with a grain of salt, because I'm also just you may have to be a little bit aggressive in certain respects if you're going to be taken seriously as a woman in that industry at that time. Like, that's not an easy thing to be doing, and to be as powerful as she was. She was a very generous person with her time in guiding people on where they were going to go. She did acting workshops that Robert Osborne attended, and she basically kind of told Robert Osborne, I don't know if you'll be a good actor, but you're definitely good at talking about movies. And that's shoot, what did Robert Osborne end up doing? Just serving for years under TCM's banner before his death.
Yeah, another thing they're dealing with in the episode is they're trying to announce that she's pregnant. So they're fighting with the network over showing that on TV. And then
they couldn't. You can't say the word pregnant on television was a big thing. The name of the episode is Lucy is Incente. Yeah,
and so Desi is working over the network, trying to. His argument is we have the #1 show. What are you gonna do about it?
That's a fair point to give to Bill Paley.
Does Philip Morrison want to not advertise on the #1 show anymore?
Oh God.
So
I know for a fact that's why Jack could never be on that show, because he was sponsored by Lucky Strike cigarettes. So they wouldn't, the competing clause wouldn't allow them to guest on each other's shows.
Yeah, they mentioned Jack Benny in this movie, so I know you're gonna like it.
What?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that Aaron Sorkin wrote down the name Jack Benny into his script?
He did. He had Lucille Ball deliver it.
Fuck yeah. Good for you, Aaron Sorkin. You made my favorite movie of the year. All right.
Because yeah, the movie also jumps around in time too. So as like
Ooh.
while they're doing this week, they flash back, and so they go to early periods where she and Desi met, and then when she did radio for a brief moment, and then when she did some film. So yeah.
Yeah, because she was on a show called My Favorite Husband on radio that was competing up against Artemis Brooks. And basically, My Favorite Husband isn't really carried on into television with her, and that's it. My Favorite Husband is very much a impetus point for I Love Lucy, but it's not like the spark for I Love Lucy. It's like it's the starting point, because Lucy was an RKO contract player for so many years, basically getting nothing to do. Like she had to earn her stripes as a comedian in a lot of respects in various different forms. But yeah, I can't wait to see this movie. I'll shut up about it now. I
was gonna say you're describing another entire scene in the movie right now. So
no, God.
Yeah. Yeah, she's at the table with the network, and she's like, I don't want to do My Favorite Husband.
Yeah,
because it wasn't supposed to be Desi. She's like, I'll do it if it's Desi, but if it's not, then I'm walking.
Yeah, which I'll ask one more thing and then I'll stop. Do they mention that Desi was the band leader on the Bob Hope program during radio at one point?
They might have, but it might have been like a throwaway line, because they do talk about him being a band leader and that being his like, he wanted to be an actor, and then it didn't work out, so he just fell into the band thing.
Yeah, because that's where Babalu comes from, and his version of Cuban Pete is very, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
I know we knew it from The Mask today, but his version swings, man.
Yeah. So that's all I watched this week. I watched Hawkeye, but I think it was like a episode that pushed the series along. Is more of like, again, I wish Ryan was here, or at least Corinne, because it just felt like it was more of just like, you should stop following Hawkeye around because you're a kid and you're gonna get in trouble. It's like, oh my God, we've done that for like 3 episodes already.
Did he shoot an arrow?
They shoot a lot of arrows.
Okay, good.
So that's what I watched this week.
Sweet.
This week on Real Nerds, we watched West Side Story. Zach, what'd you think of West Side Story?
I loved it. God, I loved it. It was great. I am not a devotee of West Side Story, the original film, but I was enough of a respecter of it that when I saw the trailer unfold, that I thought something good was coming up. Although I remember a couple months ago that I was being the negative Nancy for everything. And thinking like, oh, this movie's not going to be any good. That Spielberg's going down a weird, stupid path or whatever. I shouldn't have been fucking worried. Why should I have been worried? This movie was pretty damn flawless. I think that for a guy who never did a musical, Spielberg looks like he's been doing this his entire life. Like the scope and the pacing of this movie and the elaborate momentum of those dance sequences is incredible. I think he handles the material well. In a lot of ways, it felt more fun than when I watched the original West Side Story years ago. So like, I really hope people check it out, because I know it didn't do well this weekend at the box office, and I would encourage people to fucking shift your fucking ass over to that theater and watch something fucking spectacular for 2.5 hours, please. Because you have an opportunity to watch a musical made by one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. I don't know how you are not like flying in droves to that movie. So, but yeah, go see it. It's fucking great. Brad, should people watch West Side Story?
I mean, if they want to. I thought I've actually seen the movie twice. Well, 1.5 times. And I didn't watch the original growing up, so I went into this cold. Other than whatever pop culture has permeated, as I was watching it, the songs and everything have come through many other avenues of pop culture. So I was familiar with those.
Living in, I'd like to live in America. Yeah.
Yeah, but other than the Romeo and Juliet angle of it, I didn't know the details of everything. So, but yeah, I thought it was fine. I think Spielberg's direction and touch to it definitely feels like a premium movie. Like there's a lot of cool stuff, with the cameras being done and staging, but like overall the story, again, like I can't point to a character that I'm just like, wow, I really enjoyed this time with these people, story wise. Like it's just like there's just tons of tribalism and racism and just like territory, like I like those kind of themes. I just don't. I just have no fondness for, So I'm just like, oh, I just can't wait for these people to just like get over this and get out of here,
But Brad, it's been 50 to 60 years since the original West Side Story come out, and we haven't come out of that tribalism yet. That's why he made the movie.
Like, well, I don't think it's even a good exploration of those themes. Like,
I gotcha.
Like it's like that stuff attached to Romeo and Juliet, which already kind of has that. So it's just like no one's really discussing the problem; they're just experiencing the problem, and so yeah. So anyway, let's just do the trailer, and then we could talk about, I guess, the spoilery type stuff. Even though I don't really think there's spoilers to this, but yeah, here's the trailer.
The world is full of light. This is my first time in New York City. I want to be happy here. I want to make a life, a home.
Are you ready? Tonight is about family. The first gringo boy who smiles at you.
I never seen you before. I'm not Puerto Rican.
Is that okay?
Do you want to start World War III?
I wake up to everything I know either getting sold or wrecked or being taken over by people that I don't like.
You keep away from him as long as you're in my house.
I'm a grown-up now, Bernardo. I'm gonna think for myself.
Tony, we need you if we're going to war. Who are you? Friend or foe?
If you go with him, no one will ever forgive you. Life matters even more than love.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I had a thought in my head when Malia and I got out of it. And the big thing that I took from it was that I feel like Spielberg really, really wants to tackle a serious subject as contemporary as this. And that this was the best avenue given his mode of filmmaking, and it's also a chance for him to fulfill a dream of doing a musical. And so I feel I understand where you're coming from with it. What I do like in how he approached that ultimately is that there's an admirable effort based off of the raw emotion that one as a teenager might feel, or even just in typical, like he's putting it through a lens that he himself, if not experienced directly, has firsthand knowledge of, whether it's from his from his parents growing up and seeing stuff like this go on. There's a realism in that first scene and the way they play it out between the Jets and the Sharks and the cops. That is just, it hits the head, it hits the nail right on the head, hammer right on the nail. Like it's not pulling any punches about what the theme of this movie is, apart from love. But, and also the very end of the movie too, which has the line of like, will it be enough? And will this be enough when she's waving the gun?
Yeah, is that in the original? Because I don't feel like it is.
I can't remember. I can't remember right now.
But
It's been a long time.
It's that moment is about, as far as it goes, as far as exploring. I did appreciate it. At the salt factory when Tony kind of starts to address like, where's this going to get us?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be friends and move on.
Mm-hmm.
And people can't accept that. So, but yeah, like overall, like it takes Spielberg out of the equation. It's still like a story that's very superficial about this subject. So, very and then like, sorry, I was on a thread earlier and I like when the trailer hit, I just forgot where I was going with it. But as far as like characters to get behind, like even Tony and Maria, just like she's so tolerant of Tony, like he killed her brother, and she's just like, well, I still want to get laid, so why don't you keep hanging around? It's just like,
I think that's a little bit crass an approach.
I am, but come on, it's still like she's over it really quickly.
But to be fair to the way Rachel Zegler plays it, which by the way, she's fucking great in the movie. I thought she did a fantastic job. Bernardo, her brother, has very much shackled her down to this way of living that demands hatred of another culture. And, consequently, the way Riff converts himself, played by Mike Faist, like you're dealing with these two extremes of prejudice. And this is something that Spielberg is really good at. He is good at these heightened versions of emotion that he's able to play with this touch of humanity that is strictly his own. And that's why I think people confuse him with sentimentalizing things rather than providing a movie version of what reality is, which doesn't get taken into account because he was accused of that for Schindler's List. And I feel like there's a filter of a movie that goes on to any subject he touches. And in this particular one, it's, 1950s musical set film. And in order to do it the way he does it, he has to adhere to certain elements that are already inherent in the West Side Story material as it stands, because you always have to keep in mind that you've got a whole fan base to appease on top of that. So I think given the template he has, he pulls it off so well that I can kind of overlook like that convenience. Because my head's already kind of connecting the dots on why Maria would make a decision like that.
Well, I guess she's a bit of a brat, I guess, because like, yeah, he's got a bit of a shackles on her life, but he's not like, he's not locking her door. He's not beating her. He didn't ruin their family. It's just like, other than beating a bunch of other guys in the street, like he's not like, he's not burning down buildings and killing other people yet to achieve his goals. He's just like just a bit of a prick,
well,
with an awful prejudice. So I'm like, Maria writing him off to like that she's okay that it got him killed. It feels like he's he's still family to her. So it's just like a bit shallow, I guess.
I don't think this will convince you either way, but something that I feel like also should be factored in is that this, because it is playing off of Romeo and Juliet, it is playing off of heightened emotion. And those threads do connect back to Romeo and Juliet in such a way that Juliet still wants to be with Romeo. So,
well, I don't think Romeo and Juliet's a great play either, but like Romeo and Juliet sucked too.
Look, Brad, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that play. I'm not a fan of most adaptations of it. So I agree. I understand.
Yeah.
But with this particular one, it has enough of the veneer that I like, that I'm able to kind of, I'm able to separate myself from it. But I get it. I completely understand, especially if you weren't exposed to the original one and didn't like grow up with it as like a base point for movie musicals.
I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. Like, I think Spielberg did, like, add some great stuff to it. I was even sitting there like during some parts going like, wow, this looks like a movie that was made in the 60s with modern technology.
Can we talk about Vilma Sigmund? Sorry, Janusz Kaminski, not Vilma Sigmund.
Yeah.
Janusz Kaminski. This is, I'm not going to say this is the prettiest his camera has ever looked under Spielberg, because that would be like a bold statement. But I was just dazzled, like, by every shot in this movie. It floors you. And you're right. It's something about the way they're lighting it. Like, it looks like it was made in the same time as the original West Side Story. Yeah,
the lighting, and then whoever did the color grade, like, just, it looks like Technicolor, like, not full on, like, super bright, but just like this hint of, it's from that, like, it's a movie filmed in that era. And I guess they did shoot it on film too, so that helps. But I was just looking, I was like, man.
Even if not Technicolor, at least like a color stock that was consistent from the 60s. Yeah. Like,
maybe it was shot on the 60s film, but yeah, it was just like, the backgrounds are probably CGI and they look like, they're in that space. I'm sure the 60s one, it looks like a soundstage most of the time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but something that both of them do is they'll probably work with matte paintings. And the CGI is very much the matte painting of today. So yeah. I think it's used appropriately, rather than, like, this movie does, like, only has one really ambitious CG shot, which is the opening.
Yeah.
Because of that wrecking ball and whatnot.
But yeah, I was sitting there like looking at when they're playing with the gun on that like unfinished bridge or whatever, like probably everything around that was green screen. So, but still, it looked like they were in New York with all this construction coming down around them.
Yeah.
Or next to the ocean. So.
Right. And there are touches that, I like that he switched up the location of I Feel Pretty. Like, it just felt a little bit more. Instead of her in like a wedding dress or anything like that, it's more just, it's a little bit more realistic to the experience of somebody who's having to work an overnight shift. Like,
where was it before? I haven't seen
if I'm recalling correctly, I think they're she's putting on a wedding dress. I'm trying to remember. Fuck.
They're just out shopping.
This is why I need to rewatch this. I'm God damn it. This feels like, oh yeah, it's at it's her bedroom, and in the stage show, but in the bridal shop in the original film. So yeah, it's like she's God, I'm trying to remember. God damn it, I'm gonna rewatch the original West Side Story and get back to you, bud.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, no. It's probably moved to the department store because we've been in her bedroom plenty in that movie, so.
Yeah. Oh, and America being out in the streets and not on their the rooftop, I think is better. You get that whole dancing in the streets thing. Just, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, go see this movie, guys. Stop fucking just waiting for Spider-Man. You can watch this while waiting for Spider-Man, please. Sorry. Just, it really bothers me that this movie didn't make a lot of money. I'm like, really, guys? It's established IP. It's a musical. It's made for the big screen by one of the world's greatest filmmakers, and you guys aren't going? What is the deal here?
I think I read something, unlike something like In the Heights, it doesn't have modern songs and it's an established thing. So it's hard to attract people. Like the people who are fans of the original probably only watch movies at home anyway at that age they're at. So
that's fair. That's fair.
It might have been smarter to get Spielberg to adapt a newer musical, but obviously he wants to do this one for his dad. So
yeah, that was something interesting because like, if this is his populist film, that means his personal film that's coming up next is the one that's the semi-autobiographical one, I'm imagining.
I think so. I haven't followed that.
That's supposed to be his next project. I can't remember. I don't know what the heck it's called. I know that Seth Rogen's attached to it as like his uncle or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, it's entertaining. Like the first time I watched it, I was pretty bored up until, like I got to the Tony and Maria on the like outside her window scene before I left the movie the first time. So I was like, God, do I even want to go back and watch this? But yeah, after the salt factory fight, I was pretty invested in the movie, which is pretty late, but I was kind of like, where's this going? I would think this would be the end of the movie.
You'd think, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Also, props to having Rita Moreno in the movie from the original. That was awesome.
Yeah.
She's great. She's wonderful. She's the equivalent of Doc from the original. So I appreciated him honoring her with something to do in the movie.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
She's one of the few people still around from that.
And she can still act the pants off of almost everybody around her. So good for her.
Next week, I don't think we're seeing anything too important. Definitely nothing Ryan wants to see. So we'll figure it out.
Well, we're seeing Nightmare Alley, aren't we? Starring Willem Dafoe, directed by Guillermo del Toro, featuring Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett.
I unfortunately don't think that's coming out until the week after this one, so you might have to.
Well, I mean, we've got. Can't we just fucking reveal it now? We're watching Spider-Man: No Way Home, featuring Willem Dafoe, also starring Tom Holland and
possible multiple Dafoes.
Multiple Dafoes?
Possibly. It's a multiverse, and there have been 2 Green Goblins in the trailer, so.
Wait, Brad. They're going to clone Willem Dafoe?
No.
Or are they going to bring Dane DeHaan back?
No, I just think when they open the multiverse, there will be a Sam Raimi, Willem Dafoe, and then there will be a whatever new version, more accurate to the comics that John Watts creates will be in there. And they'll probably double up and tag team on Spider-Man.
Ooh. Double Dafoe. Double your pleasure, double Dafoe. Double Dafoe foes. Because see, he's Dafoe.
Double Dafoe.
And he's also a foe. Willem Dafoe's great, guys. We're seeing Spider-Man No Way Home.
If you can still find a theater that has the French Dispatch, you can watch Dafoe there, plus Nightmare Alley, plus Spider-Man, and get triple
Dafoe. Oh my God, Brad, what an age we live in.
Calm down, Zach.
He's literally only in 1 second of fucking French Dispatch, though.
No, he's not. He's got like 4 or 5 scenes.
He doesn't. I don't remember him saying anything in the movie.
Oh, you didn't pay attention. He's in the chicken coop where he's like, "Are you going to kill me?" And then he's out collecting the briefcase, and then he's back when he eats the.
He gets that's when the cops swarm him when he's getting the briefcase. Right? They swarm him outside.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he's back when he gets delivered the food because he's about to die of starvation.
Favorite Dafoe movie before we leave?
Are you asking me what my favorite is?
Yeah, what's your favorite? Before we leave, what's your favorite Defoe?
Oh gosh, I have never thought about it before.
You might have the same answer that I do, oddly enough.
I don't. I never thought of that. He's got such a large catalog.
I'll just say mine. I'll say mine. Shadow of the Vampire.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I also think of he's also really good in a bad movie called Boondock Saints.
Thank you for clarifying your answer. He's really good in a bad movie.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Oh, he is great in that too. I like him as the rat in Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yep. Good voice. He's good in Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's Willem Dafoe's one of our national treasures. Oh, The Lighthouse. He's really good in The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yep. God. Can we do like a Defoe explosion where we go down our favorite Defoe movies? This is what happens when Ryan's not here. I'm allowed to spiel about Willem Dafoe and how he's better than any other Spider-Man character.
Yeah, good thing I'm here because I'm going to wrap this up. So yeah, we're going to see Spider-Man No Way Home next week.
Following week is Matrix Revolutions, and then I believe I talked Ryan into doing Nightmare Alley as our last official original format episode.
Or The Kingsman.
You guys just don't want to watch Guillermo del Toro do a noir movie, do you? You just don't want to watch a good thing. This is what you're telling me.
Is this a werewolf movie? Because I feel like this is like he did a backdoor Creature from the Black Lagoon for Shape of Water. No. They keep saying is he man or beast? And I feel like that's a werewolf thing.
Because the fake clairvoyant in Nightmare Alley is a human monster. Now he's dealing with the human monsters. That's the thing. Because he's a fucking terrible person. But it also has the aesthetic of the carnival and the circus and whatnot. So you're gonna have some fun with that aesthetic. And on top of that, it's a film noir by Guillermo del Toro. We should have been wanting this years ago.
Cool. So till next week.
Bye. Watch more Defoe movies.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Drafthouse in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.